What's up? Welcome to Food and Philosophy, episode number 51. And I'm hungry. Today, Ike's. This should be Ike Day every day. This one is. Move this out of the way. This one is number 9. The name of the girl I'm dating. Number 9 in brackets. So when I first opened up Ike's, I made 26 sandwiches, well, 25, and then I added 26 sandwich, and I named them after people that I were close to me. And I thought, now at the time I was kind of dating a girl, but we weren't dating, kind of. And I was like, well, I dated a lot of women back then. I was writing a book on how to meet women online and get them to pay for the first date. So I cycled through many a woman. Not that I'm proud or not proud of that, but that was just a fact. So I thought, well, I'm gonna need a space for my girlfriend, so I'll just hold it name of the girl I'm dating, and then if I get a girlfriend, I'll just put her name in there. And this is actually also the first sandwich Ike's ever sold. And by Ike's, I mean me. The first sandwich I ever sold was this number 9. And well, let me tell you the ingredients first. It's halal chicken, honey mustard, avocado, and pepper jack. So people would see it's number 9. They'd go up down the line and get to number 9 and be like, oh, wow, that sounds pretty great. And then they'd order it. In fact, the first 9 sandwiches I sold were the number 9. People would read the menu, get to number 9, and be like, that sounds great. I'll take it. Now, what I learned is, because then my first girlfriend, once Ike's opened, so I had a girl I was dating, then we broke up like 3 days later. But like I said, she wasn't really my girlfriend. And I heard that she will get mad at you if you eat at Ike's. So apparently there's at least one person out there that hates me. Literally the only one. Everybody else loves me, I'm sure, because I'm freaking perfect. But so Tiffany box. I'm like, all right, so I'm gonna name the number 9 the Tiffany box now. And oh my god, did she not like that? She's like, no, that's disrespectful. I can't believe it. I want to create my own sandwich. It's not even what I want. Great. And later on, when her and I break up and I get a new girl and I go and I actually changed it on the menu, like literally in many stores. What's up, Reverse Cowgirl Eatery and Hey Blind Guy. So then she is known as the Bella. She was like, even liked it less. So I learned, lesson learned, don't ever swap out the name of the girl I'm dating sandwich for a girl that I'm actually dating, no matter what. So anyways, now that it's going to be the number 9 name of the girl I'm dating, you can put your own name in there if you want. You can give your date's name in there, however you want it. But I'm definitely never putting one of my girlfriend's names in there ever again. So number 9. This one I got on sourdough because the sandwich is already sweet, although you probably get yours on Dutch. What's up, 8 Blind Guy? All right. This is a good sandwich. Personally, I normally don't get avocado on my sandwiches, but I get why you guys like them. I stream also, so I can like see how I look during the show. Mm. Hey, I'm actually in Arizona tonight. Phoenix, come by, see me tonight. I'll be there 6 to 10. What are some vegetarian sandwiches you like that aren't the most common? And shout out to Queen Creek XAZ. Thanks for Reverse Cowgirl. Zenas, what are some vegetarian sandwiches you like that aren't the most common? The not common part. We have a sandwich called the Heath Ledger, which is vegan meatballs, red pesto, ranch, and fried zucchini. I love that one. The Bowser was my go-to veggie sandwich, which is the meatless Mike, but with mozzarella sticks and jalapeno poppers in there. And I love that one. Come see me tonight at First Friday. Bring lonely lungs. I would love to see you guys. Maya Angelou is a great one. Ghost Sharks is a great one. I'm trying to think what's another one that's low key people don't know about. We got one called the Winnie the Pooh. It's not at every location, but it's cream cheese, orange glaze, and then veggies. I really like that one. The red pesto is a pesto, but instead of made with basil, it has made with sun dried tomatoes. More yak, please. I wish I had a yak Momo sandwich at Ike's. All right, one more bite. Oh, I'm gonna eat the rest of that. All right. Yeah, message the Ike's influencers at Ike's influencers. The question is, can people become Ike's influencers? Yes, message on Instagram at Ike's influencers or on TikTok, whichever one you prefer. Send them a DM, and you'll see what kind of deal you guys can work out with them. No, we don't need more halal sandwiches on the menu. We need more yak on the menu. Halal yak. But first, our X talk. Oh my gosh, my notifications, so many. Boop, 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 boop. It says I tagged myself in a reel. That tracks. All right. This one is also somebody I follow at David Melzer, and his phone number's there too. Of course, there's going to be a grand opening when Mission Valley opens. All right. David Melzer at David Melzer, I think on everything. Just because someone loves you doesn't mean they're qualified to give you good advice. Just because someone loves you doesn't mean they're qualified to give you good advice. So true. In fact, they're going to want to, especially if they're men, they're going to want to give you advice. It's like the masculine is like, oh, let me help, let me help, let me help. And I'm not saying that women aren't going to try to help you or the feminine is not going to try to help you. But just because they're wanting to give you advice, it doesn't mean that they're qualified to. So do not think that just because they give you advice that they're qualified to. And in fact, one of the things I learned, because literally everybody wants to give me advice, even non-family members, even people that don't love me want to give me advice, is that other than it might get annoying to have people always try to give you advice, other than that, leaving that aside, and it might, that's just between you and your own internal combustion engine. Just because somebody gives you advice does not mean you have to take it. There's a billionaire food guy that's one of my mentors. I got a few like that, and he gave me some advice once, and I was like, man, and I didn't agree with him, so I was like, well, let me think, and I ended up not doing the advice because I didn't think it's Ike's. Like for sure, it probably is useful for 90+% of restaurants. But I was like, it's totally not Ike's to do what he was giving advice on. But I also don't remember I didn't give him advice. I remember a quote in the book. I believe it is might have been Allison Armstrong. It might be. If it's not, it's fine. I'm just gonna give the quote anyway. But I'll give Allison Armstrong the credit. It said, "Hey, I stopped giving people advice because I realized that unless somebody specifically asked for that piece of advice, they're not going to listen to the advice anyway. So why waste your time with giving advice? If they're not going to listen, then why give them the advice? Heck, even if you ask for advice, unless they agree with the advice, what I've noticed, they're not going to follow it. Like when, even though I didn't ask for the advice from this billionaire, but he definitely knows what he's doing in the restaurant space. He gave me some advice, and I was like, I mean, it makes sense, but not for me. And it definitely makes sense. Like it would make sense for you if I gave you that advice. So just because someone loves you doesn't mean you have to take their advice. Even though here it says just because someone loves you doesn't mean they're qualified to give you good advice. Give you good advice. So, well, maybe he means I don't know what David means. I'll ask him what he. I'm going to save this and be like, hey, what did you mean by this? Let me discuss with him, and I'll tell you what he says. Maybe I should have done that before this part. But find people that are really good at what it is that you want to have happen and then ask them for advice, whether that person loves you or not. But even in that moment, you're likely only going to take advice if they say it and then you're like, "Oh, actually that makes sense." So, I guess in a way it doesn't matter what the advice is. It's just reminding you of something or showing you something that you already agreed with in the first place. But I will ask David about this and I will fill you in maybe in the next episode if I remember, but I'll remember. That's my X talk. Find people that are where you want to be and ask them for advice. And with the social media world, it's so easy to get in touch with people now. More so now than it ever has been in the world. Or just ask somebody, hey, do you know somebody that knows this person? Boom. That's my X talk. All right, back to the War of Art. Where would we leave off? Resistance and Isolation Part 2. Resistance and Isolation Part 2. Friends sometimes ask, don't you get lonely sitting by yourself all day? And at first it seemed odd to hear myself answer no. But then I realized that I was not alone. I was in the book. I was in the characters. I was with them. I was with myself. Not only do I not feel alone with my characters, they're more vivid and interesting to me than people in my real life. If you think about it, the case can't be otherwise. In order for your book or any project or enterprise to hold our attention for the length of time it takes to unfold itself, it has to plug into some internal perplexity or passion that is of paramount importance to us. That problem, because the theme of our work, even if we can't at the start understand or articulate, that problem becomes the theme of our work, even if we can't at the start understand or articulate it. As the characters arise, each embodies infallibly, an aspect of the dilemma that perplexity. These characters might not be interesting to anyone else, but they're absolutely fascinating to us. They are us, meaner, smarter, sexier versions of ourselves. It's fun to be with them because they're wrestling with the same issues that has its hooks into us. They're our soulmates, they're our lovers, they're our best friends, even the villains. Heck, especially the villains. Even a book like this, which has no characters, I don't feel alone because I'm imagining the reader whom I conjure as an aspiring artist, much like my own younger, less grizzled self, to whom I hope to impart a little starch and inspiration and prime, a little with some hard knocks, wisdom, and a few tricks of the trade. There are soulmates. This is Resistance and Isolation Part 2. They're our soulmates, our lovers, our best friends, even the villains, especially the villains. Who are your three favorite villains of all time? Real or fake? Or real or fictional? Fictional or non-fictional? Who are your three favorite villains of all time? Favorite villains. Why or how come these three people? For each one. Why or how come? What is it about them that's especially you? Where are you? What parts of you are in that? What's up, Josh? What's up, Spec Babe? When you move with your love, there is no room for loneliness. As you have your muses, your inspiration, your creativity, and your other self with you the entirety of the time, even in struggle, especially in the struggle. We get to embrace all the sides of ourselves and use these best parts of each of these things. Resistance and Isolation, Part 2. Resistance and healing. Resistance and healing. Have you ever spent time in Santa Fe? Actually, I just did a while ago shooting that movie. My first acting role in a long time. Since Ike's, where I acted as not Ike in a show, in a movie. There's this subculture of healing there. I remember when I'm in Santa Fe and I'm like, all right, let me see where this healing thing is here. There's so many there was. Anyway, so have you ever spent time in Santa Fe? There's a subculture of healing there. And not in a bad way, like when I said I noticed it. However, here we go. The idea is that there's something therapeutic in the atmosphere, a safe place to go and get yourself together. There are other places, Santa Barbara and Ojai, California come to mind, usually populated by upper middle class people with more time and money than they know what to do with, in which a culture of healing also obtains. The concept in all these environments seems to be that one needs to complete their healing before they're ready to do their work. The way of thinking, are you ahead of me? Is a form of resistance. What are we trying to heal anyway? The athlete knows the day will never come when he wakes up pain-free. He has to play hurt. Remember, the part of us that we imagine needs healing is not the part where we create from. That part is far deeper and stronger. The part we create from can't be touched by anything our parents did or society did. That part is unsullied, it's uncorrupted, it's soundproof, it's waterproof, and it's bulletproof. In fact, the more trouble we've got with it, the better and richer that part becomes. The part that needs healing is our personal life. Personal life has nothing to do with the work. I'm going to say that again. The part that needs healing is our personal life. And that part has nothing to do with work. Besides, what better way of healing than to find our center of self-sovereignty? Isn't that the whole point of healing or getting better or moving forward in life? I washed up in New York a couple decades ago, making $20 a night, driving a cab and running away full time from doing my work. One night, alone in my $110 a month sublet, I hit bottom in terms of having diverted myself into so many phony channels so many times that I couldn't rationalize it for one more evening. I dragged out my ancient Smith Corona, dreading the experience as pointless, fruitless, meaningless, not to say the most painful exercise I could think of. For 2 hours, I made myself sit there torturing out some trash that I chucked immediately into the can. That was enough. I put the machine away. I went back to the kitchen. In the sink sat 10 days of dishes. For some reason, I had enough excess energy that I decided to wash them. The warm water felt pretty good. The soap, the sponge were doing their thing. A pile of clean plates began to rising in the drying rack. To my amazement, I realized I was whistling. It hit me that I had turned a corner. I was okay. I would be okay from now on. Do you understand? I hadn't written anything good. It might be years before I would, if I ever did at all. That didn't matter. What counted was that I had, after years of running from it, actually sat down and done my work. Don't get me wrong. I've got nothing against true healing. We all need it. But it has nothing to do with doing our work. And it can be a colossal exercise in resistance. Resistance loves healing. Resistance knows that the more psychic energy we expend dredging and redredging the tired, boring injustices of our personal lives, the less juice we have to do our work. You're welcome, Josh. I appreciate you. What's up, my Todd? How are you? Resistance and healing. There is no better version of you There's no better version of you. There is no better version of you. You do not need to do or be anything more than you are to get to where you want to be. In fact, you're probably already there. And if you're not, you're just a couple steps away, even if it might not seem that way. Everything that has gotten you to here is exactly what needed to happen. In fact, you wouldn't even want to go to wherever it is that you say that you want to get to if it wasn't for every single thing that came before. There will always and forever be something going on in your life. Move forward anyway. Move forward and use this pain and this anguish, that whatever you're feeling right now, to bring from within you, from the depths of yourself, what's been hiding all along about you, your superpowers. Without these pained parts of you, you wouldn't even be you, nor could you be as magical as you are without these things. Wherever your ideas, your creativity, this part where your calling is coming from, where we create, this space is divinity. This place is divinity itself. Who can question it? Who can question it? It is all a result of all that we are, all that you are, all that you are, all that you are. Move and let your spirit, let this part of you, let the divinity in you, this spark that's moving you, take you with the flow. And then look, which parts of your past do you regularly use as an excuse to not do your work, to not have great relationships, to not have the body that you want, to not finish that project, to not chase your dreams? And which things do you just automatically do spontaneously? Move your goals, move the things that you want in your life to these areas where you just move through spontaneously. Either connect them through linking them to what it is that you believe in or you love or your values, or just move your awareness like, oh, here I'm totally spontaneously creating new sandwiches every single day, but I'd love to get abs. So move that to when I'm working out. Just feel how amazing I feel when I'm creating a sandwich. Your version of that with your goals. Do that now. It's a magic freaking trick. It's changed my life. How do you think I get ripped even though I eat all the time? How do you think I do that? I move my inspiration towards something that I'm amazing at. In this case, making food, but also other things like writing. And I feel that because you can feel that right now. Like, do this exercise with me right now. Feel something that you're really good at. Like, what's something that you're really freaking good at? You're proud of, and you're confident in, and you think it's your superpower. What's one of those things? Do that right now. Bring that up. Feel those feelings, and now think of something that you have on your list of goals that you don't have yet, and bring that feeling towards that feeling that you are not doing those things. You can feel this way anytime you want. So why don't you feel this way when you're doing something that you don't want? You can start right now, like literally right now, doing it right this second, like as you're on this call with me right now, or as you're watching this in the future, or watching this as a reel, or watching this as a video, a short. Wherever you are in life, you can do this. And you can use it wherever you want to go and to get to wherever you want to go. when it comes to playing hurt, move forward. Even if you're in pain, physically or emotionally, use that pain, bring forth this amazingness inside of you, and move forward anyway. Because all pain is, all this anguish is, when it's imagined, even if it's real, it's still you're feeling pain in the moment. How do you know? Because there's someone out there that in the same exact situation would feel not the way that you're feeling. So it's not the thing, it's you. And I know that might be crappy to hear when it feels crappy, but it doesn't make it less true. And it doesn't mean that we don't love you, even though we say this to you. I'm in pain too right now in some areas of my life, and likely forever. Like in areas of your life, you'll be, and in my life, I will be in some area lacking. In fact, we'll be lacking 100% the rest of our lives, because how else would we move forward in things? How could we move forward in things? Which is how come when life gives you what you want, yes, great. But when it doesn't give you what you want, that means it's even better, because it allows for something else to come through that maybe you could never have even thought about. Your well being is your greatest contribution to humanity. No exceptions ever. And to all the number nines, to all the name of the girls I've been dated in my whole life, I freaking love you and thank you for contributing to my life and making me the fabulous human being that I think that I am. Love you. Miss you.